The wheels kissed the tarmac just as dawn cracked open the sky. Karachi was waking up. Rickshaws humming, gulls circling the harbor, a faint prayer echoing over rooftops. Michael Hayes, 35, precise, careful with words and carelessly generous with everyone he loved, tightened his grip on the leather handle of a slim gift box. Inside lay an emerald bracelet, a surprise for his fiancée Sophia Reed. "Sir, should I call ahead?" asked John, his driver and oldest friend, as the sedan slid into the quiet lane leading to Michael's clifftop estate. "No," Michael smiled. "I want to see her face. Today has to be simple for once. Simple." He told himself that as wind whispered through palm fronds and morning light poured like honey over the courtyard tiles. He stepped out, inhaled sea salt and jasmine, and felt that rare childlike lift in his chest. Somewhere, a fountain murmured. Somewhere, Emma, his 8-year-old, would be tumbling through the kitchen asking for mango slices. Somewhere, his mother, Evelyn, would be telling the cook to add a pinch more cardamom, because comfort is a flavor, beta. His footsteps echoed along the breezeway. Click, click, click. The house should have sounded fuller, brighter. Instead, he heard a hushes, not the warm noise of morning. Sharp whispers, a slosh, a small gasp. Michael paused at the corner leading to the service patio, where the gardener kept buckets and hoses. A cool shadow fell across his shoes. He set the gift box on a stone bench and leaned forward. "Please, don't." A voice trembled. "Emma." A second voice, smooth, amused, answered. "Teach you respect, little actress. You and that old woman." The next second unfolded like glass breaking in slow motion. Michael rounded the corner. Sophia stood on the tiles, silk robe tied like a flag of victory, holding a plastic bucket streaked brown. Evelyn was kneeling, sari-soaked, hair pinned with stubborn dignity. Emma, tiny and fierce, had thrown her arms across her grandmother's shoulders to shield her. A thin stream of dirty water ran around their shoes, pooling near a fallen tray where tea had shattered, amber liquid soaking biscuits and a crushed marigold. Sophia tilted the bucket again. "Look what you did," she cooed. "Clumsy hands, Evelyn. You ruined my robe yesterday. Remember? Consider this balance." Michael's breath seized. Every sound sharpened. The fly buzzing near the drain, the hiss of the hose, Emma's muffled sob. He wanted to speak and couldn't. The world tightened to a single point, Sophia's mouth curving. "Stop it," Emma cried, voice breaking. "Nanny's not a servant. She's. Old habits are hard to break, sweetheart," Sophia sang, stepping closer. "And some people need to learn their place." Silence. Long, heavy. Even the air held still. Michael took one step forward. Two. He was close enough now to see flecks of dirt in the water sliding down Evelyn's wrist, the tremble of her gold bangles. He looked at Sophia. She looked back with lazy surprise that curdled into shock, then into something like calculation. "Michael," she said, breath sugar-sweet. "I didn't hear you." Evelyn's eyes lifted to her son, apology and warning in the same gaze. Emma turned, cheeks wet, whispering, "Dad." The bucket hovered in Sophia's hands. The moment hovered with it. Do you say something when your throat is full of thunder? Or do you watch one more second to know the truth beyond doubt? Michael swallowed. The gift box on the bench felt suddenly ridiculous. He stepped into the light. "Good morning," he said, voice low. "What exactly am I seeing?" The bucket tipped. The thin, ugly stream began to fall. And Michael moved. How would you have moved in that moment? His hand shot out, catching the bucket mid-pour, and Sophia smiled as if she'd been waiting for him to do exactly that. Water sloshed over Michael's sleeve, cold and sour. He set the bucket down so gently it didn't splash. Gentle felt necessary. Everything else inside him wanted to break. Sophia tilted her chin. "You startled me. I was disciplining the staff." She eyed Evelyn as if she were a stain. "Your mother's been careless. Twice this week. She almost spilled scalding tea on me yesterday. I can't be injured before the engagement photos, can I? Be reasonable, Michael. Disciplining. His voice came out flat. By pouring filth on my mother. And my daughter. It's just water with soil. Sophia's fingers adjusted her robe sash. A tiny, tidy act. A lesson. Nothing harmful. She crouched, dabbing a spot on the tile with her sleeve. Deliberately avoiding Evelyn. We'll all laugh about it later. Emma stepped forward, small fists curled. Don't touch Nanny. Don't even look at her. Sophia's smile didn't reach her eyes. Children repeat what they hear. Evelyn, you've been whispering again, haven't you? Telling stories about me. Evelyn rose slowly. Dignity collected itself in her spine. I told Emma the truth. Respect is not a perform. Enough? Sophia snapped, the mask slipping to a flash of teeth. You are the reason this house feels small. You! Michael felt the room tilt. The same woman who had delicately lifted Emma at the charity carnival, who had asked for extra blankets for the shelter, who had pressed Michael's shoulder during a board meeting whispering, I'm proud of you, was looking at his mother like she was replaceable furniture. Sometimes you think you know someone. What detail do you miss that later feels like a flare in the dark? John, Michael said without turning. Footsteps answered. John had been standing just out of sight. Please take my mother and Emma to my study. Warm towels. Dry clothes. Now. He knelt to Emma's level. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Okay. Star. Emma nodded, fierce and shaky. She's mean, Dad. I know, he murmured. I'm listening. Evelyn placed a hand on her son's shoulder, steadying him as she always had, then let John guide them away. Their footsteps faded. The patio exhaled. Sophia moved into the space Emma had left. You can't let a child dictate the tone of our home. Imagine what investors would say if they saw how sentimental you can be. Michael studied the cracked marigold petals stuck to the tile. Investors? Yes, she said lightly. We represent the Hayes Foundation. Optics matter. If your inner circle can't be trained to modern standards. Trained, he repeated. Sophia's eyes flicked to the bench. Spotted the slim box. Effects softened. Is that for me? She reached. He placed a hand over it. No. Her mouth cooled. I see. We're punishing me for a moment of frustration. We're clarifying something. He straightened. When the world isn't watching, who are you? When there's no photographer, no gala, no speech, who are you? Sophia laughed, a brittle chiming. Don't be dramatic. A little dirt and everyone acts like I committed a crime. Your mother needs to learn boundaries. Emma needs to be taught respect. And what do you need, Sophia? Her eyes brightened, sharp. To know you'll choose me, publicly, without conditions. A wind moved through the palms. Somewhere inside the house, a door clicked shut. The silence stretched long enough to have weight. Michael reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. His thumb hovered, then pressed a button. The soft beep of a recorded call glowed between them. I need the truth recorded, he said. For my lawyer. For myself. Sophia's smile vanished. You're not serious. He looked at the smear of mud on Evelyn's wrist. He looked at the tiny crescent of nail print on Emma's palm. Say it again, he said quietly. Say what you called them. Sophia's jaw worked. You wouldn't. Michael kept the phone steady, the way you keep your breath steady when a storm is about to break. Sophia leaned in, voice low and venom sweet. Trash learns fastest when it's wet. Not knowing that behind her, Robert, Michael's attorney, had just stepped into the doorway and heard every word. Robert didn't speak. He didn't need to. His eyes, calm, courtroom cold, took in the scene. The bucket, the soaked sari, the slivered biscuit crumbs. He held up a small device. Security cameras cover this patio, he said. Audio, video. Our tech flagged unusual motion. Sophia went still. You set me up. No, Robert replied. You set yourself down. Michael's phone vibrated. A message blinked from the head of security. Clip uploaded. 6:14 a.m. Service patio. Sophia's laugh scraped. You can't use this. Privacy. In my own home? Michael asked. Where my mother and daughter live? She took a step closer, perfume thick, smile resetting like a mask snapping back. Michael, I was upset. Your mother has made it impossible to plan anything. She meddles. She criticizes. She acts like I'm a guest. And Emma, she doesn't listen. Emma is 8, Michael said. He heard his voice as if from down a hallway. You're the adult. Sophia's eyes glittered. You wanted a queen. Queens command. Queens protect. Silence. The word hung there, landing with a soft thud that felt louder than a shout. Robert cleared his throat. We need to talk in your study. He glanced at Sophia. Not you. Sophia's jaw sharpened. You can't exclude me from decisions about my own engagement. Engagements are not contracts, Robert said blandly. They're promises, easily broken by buckets. Michael almost smiled at that and hated that he could. Give us a moment, Robert. When the door clicked, Michael turned back to Sophia. Tell me the thing under the thing, he said. What do you believe about my mother? About Emma? About me? I believe, Sophia said, shoulders relaxing into something honest and unpretty, that you are a story. I could build a life on that story. But old women with opinions ruin stories. Children with big eyes make men weak. And weakness is expensive. There it was, the flare in the dark. Why me then? He asked. There are other stories. Because you saved me once, she answered. At the Crescent Gala, when my father's company was circling the drain. You stood beside me on that stage. People moved their money because you smiled at me. I learned then, proximity is power. Proximity is also intimacy, he said. Sophia's mouth twitched. I was working on it. He shook his head. You were working on my reflection. A gust rattled the fountain. From somewhere down the hall came the soft hiccup of a child catching her breath after crying. That sound sharpened the room. Michael watched Sophia look toward it and then away, bored. The smallest of tells. Tonight is the rehearsal dinner, she said coolly. Our families, photographers, the minister, we will attend. You will smile. After that, send your mother on a trip. You can call it a spa. Put Emma in a school abroad. I'll curate the house. It will be painless. Painless for whom? For you, she said. Eventually. Michael nodded slowly, as if considering a difficult offer. He walked to the bench, lifted the emerald box, opened it. The stone caught a blade of light and set the wall trembling green. It would have looked good on you, he said. But it's not a bracelet for a mask. He closed the box. His voice became brisk, businesslike, the tone that moved markets. You'll attend the rehearsal tonight, he said. You'll get every camera you crave. And then you will show the world exactly who you are. Sophia's chin lifted. Try me. I'm not trying, he said. I'm documenting. He stepped past her. She caught his sleeve, nails grazing. Careful, Michael, she murmured, the affection counterfeit and hot. Stories can be edited. I'm very good at edits. So am I. He walked away. As he reached the doorway, Sophia let the last mask slip. Just for him. Tell Emma, she whispered, that tears are leverage, but I don't negotiate with children. He stopped, pulse kicking. What did you say? She smiled like a blade. You heard me. What Sophia didn't know was that Michael had left his phone recording in his pocket, and the tiny mic on the patio light had heard her too. By evening, the estate glowed. Lanterns curtained the trees. A string quartet watered the air in the garden with a polite waltz. Photographers floated like dragonflies, lenses blinking. Guests arrived glittering. Board members, cousins, people who pronounced foundation like a confession. Evelyn wore a fresh sari, sea green with a patient sheen. Emma, in a white dress and tiny sneakers, held her hand like a captain holds the rail. John stood behind them, wide as a wall. Robert hovered near the projector tucked under a linen-draped table. Sophia descended the grand staircase as if it were a theater built for her, diamonds raindropping at her ears. Cameras sighed. Sophia, someone called. A smile. She gave them 3, each more perfect than the last. Michael met her halfway. To the world, he was calm. Inside, he was a coastline taking wave after wave and refusing to erode. "Ready?" he asked lightly. "Always," she said. They stepped onto the garden stage, where a canvas backdrop bloomed with lilies. Michael took the mic. "Thank you for celebrating us," he began, eyes sweeping faces. The familiar, the flattering, the quietly hungry. "Tonight is about gratitude. About truth, too." A murmur. The quartet paused mid-phrase, rubbed its strings into hush. "Truth," he repeated. "Because love without truth is just choreography." He glanced at Robert. A beat. The projector hummed. A rectangle of light opened on the backdrop. The patio appeared. Grainy dawn, buckets, the slant of Evelyn's shoulder, Emma's ponytail shaking. Sophia's voice spilled into the garden. Silk turned to sandpaper. Trash learns fastest when it's wet. The sound punched the hush into a bruise. A woman gasped. Someone's champagne flute rang against teeth. The clip continued. Evelyn's quiet dignity, Emma's fierce plea, the small mean tilt of Sophia's mouth. Michael kept his eyes on the crowd, not the screen. He watched comprehension travel like fire through dry grass. Sophia's smile froze, then cracked. "This is a misunderstanding." She laughed a singer's laugh. "Michael and I stage things for social media. Don't you know? It's satire." Robert's voice, mild. "There's more." Audio rolled. The whisper near the doorway. "Tears are leverage. I don't negotiate with children." Silence ate the lawn. Sophia's hands fluttered as if she could shoo away sound. "This is manipulation. They provoked me. Evelyn, tell them you tripped with the tea. Tell them." Evelyn stepped forward, palms open. "I would rather break my silence than my self-respect." She looked at the guests. "I raised my son to be kind, my granddaughter to be brave. Today, both were tested." Sophia pivoted to Emma, eyes thin. For a flicker of a second, she was what she had been that morning. Unmasked, bored, cruel. Then she reached for the girl. "Come here, sweetheart. Let's show everyone we're a family." John moved once, and the space between Emma and danger closed with him in it. "No, ma'am. Get out of my way." "Gladly," John said. "When you step back." Sophia's breath sawed. "Michael, stop this. Think of optics. Donors hate drama." Michael lifted the mic, voice soft. "I think of Emma." A siren thinned the air beyond the gates. Heads turned. Somewhere outside, the security intercom chirped. Robert's phone buzzed. He raised his brows at Michael. "Ready?" Michael nodded. "For everyone here," he said calmly, "I apologize for the scene. I prefer my lessons private. But sometimes, protection must be public." He turned to Sophia. "The engagement is ended." A camera clicked like a gavel. Sophia's face emptied. Then it filled with something hot and reckless. She snatched a flute from a tray and hurled it at the projector. Glass burst. Light flared. Guests recoiled. Emma, startled, slipped. Evelyn caught her, both folding to the grass. Sophia lurched forward toward the child. Blue strobes washed the garden wall as the gate swung open, and the police stepped in. The officers moved in measured lines, all edges and patience. Robert's paperwork met their hands like a key slipping into a lock. "We're not pressing charges for property damage," Michael said steadily. "Only for assault on my mother and intimidation of my daughter. Evidence has been shared." Sophia laughed, something unhinged at the rim. "You can't arrest me for a bucket." Her diamonds trembled. "Do you know who I am?" An officer, calm, almost kind, said, "Yes, ma'am. We also know what you're on record saying." She twisted toward Michael. "You're throwing away an empire because a child cried." Michael looked at Emma, then back at Sophia. "I'm saving one. The bracelets. These ones steel, not emerald." Closed around her wrists with a small, decisive click. Cameras whirred in a stunned chorus. As the officers led Sophia past the hedges, someone whispered, "I never liked her eyes." Someone else murmured, I did. I just never looked long enough. When silence settled, it didn't feel empty. Felt clean. Michael crouched where Evelyn and Emma were sitting in the grass. Night air cooled the heat of the day on their skin. Somewhere, the sea threw itself against rock and came back smiling because that's what the sea does. Try again and again until the cliff agrees to be reshaped. Dad, Emma whispered, are we still having cake? He laughed, the sound breaking and healing at once. We're having too. Evelyn touched his cheek. You did hard things gently. His throat tightened. I didn't earlier. You moved when you had to, she said. You listened when it mattered. That is all the wisdom we can hope for in a crisis. He turned to the guests, who hovered with uncertainty, shame, curiosity. He took the mic and set it aside. No speech would be better than a true one, and truth preferred no amplification tonight. Friends, he said simply, go home. Hold the people who love you. And please don't send me statements tomorrow. Send kindness to someone who hasn't earned it yet. They began to drift, some squeezing his shoulder, some brushing Evelyn's fingers with reverence, some kneeling to Emma's height to smile and say, brave girl. The garden relaxed into night. Later, in the study, Emma curled on the couch under a woven throw. Michael wrapped a warm towel around Evelyn's hands and massaged her knuckles like he had done after long temple festivals when he was a boy and she had clapped too long for other people's happiness. I saw the signs, he said quietly into the dim. But they were small, and I wanted the story, Mom, the perfect picture. Evelyn's gaze was tender. Pictures are fine, but ask, does the picture love you back? He nodded, eyes burning. I'll build a house that does. You already are, she said. One choice at a time. A message pinged on his phone. Robert, press is asking. Statement? Michael typed back. We don't comment on cruelty. We practice repair. Then he put the phone face down and listened to Emma's breathing even into the room's hush. The sound a metronome for healing. The next morning he met with his team. We will accelerate the Safe Homes Initiative, he told them. Shelters, legal aid, helplines. In my mother's name. In Emma's too. He caught Evelyn's eye. Pride traveled between them like sunlight across a floor. At noon, he returned to the patio where it had started. The tiles had been washed, but a pale ghost of mud remained in a grout line. He knelt with a brush and soap and worked the line clean. John hovered, pretending to check a hose. You don't have to, sir, John said. I do, Michael answered. Not because I spilled it, because it's my floor. He rinsed the brush. The last of the dirt spiraled away, small and dark, until the water ran clear. He stood, rolled his sleeves, and looked out at the sea, vast, stubborn, promising. Dad, Emma called, racing across the stones with the emerald box in her hands. Can we make this Nanny's? Michael opened it. The stone bloomed green again. He fastened it on Evelyn's wrist, the jewel bright against skin that had carried him through storms. Queens protect, he said softly. Evelyn smiled. Kings learn. Quiet. A gull cries. Somewhere a kettle starts. The house breathes in. When love and image collide, which do you guard first? The picture the world sees, or the people who see you when the world isn't looking?